Stars, make a lot of money from Christmas songs each year. But what's interesting, I often find with this particular genre, is not every star is a fan of the music that makes them millions. And this particular story may indeed shock you. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. I hope you're keeping well today, and thank you as ever for your company. Today we're outside a wonderful location, actually. It's just at the top of Notting Hill Gate. Across the road is the wonderful Kensington Palace, of course, former home of the late and wonderful Princess Diana, and of course part-time home, at times at least, of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. One-time home, of course, for a very short tenure, of the former royals known as Harry and Meghan. But as ever, it's back to your, shall we say, entertainment, fun, festive story of the day. Now, as I say, it's interesting, isn't it? Because at this time of year, there are perennial songs that come out time and time again each year. Over here in the United Kingdom, we have one called Merry Christmas Everybody by Slade. And of course, it's played in every single shop wherever you go, this sort of thing. And you do kind of feel sorry for the shop assistants because it's just never ending. But of course, there are some songs that are perennials, ones that have sold millions each every year. And one of those particular songs indeed was this. It of course was made famous by the one and only, the legendary crooner himself, Bing Crosby. Now, Bing Crosby, as you know, shot to fame way back in the late 30s all through to the 1960s because, of course, he starred in those wonderful road movies with Bob Hope and the equally delectable Dorothy Lamour. Wow, remember her? She's a blast from the past. Of course, an incredibly sexy lady who made a lot of good comic timings alongside Hope and Crosby. But of course, it's this particular song by Bing Crosby that really cemented his, shall we say, memory worldwide for decades. It was his recording, of course, way back in the 40s of White Christmas that really settled him as the Christmas perennial favourite. And according to good source, he didn't mind the song originally, of course. He didn't think it would take off in the way that it did. But a few years ago, I was lucky enough to sit down and chat with the wonderful and great David Bowie. Now, of course, David Bowie appeared alongside the legendary Bing Crosby when they recorded a duet together, Little Drummer Boy. Do you remember that one? The reason behind that, of course, according to David, was this. His family were big Bing Crosby fans, and of course, he thought, well, why not? This will make them happy. And of course, Bing Crosby himself is and remains a legend. Now, David told me this during the chat. He said that, look, Bing didn't mind the fact that the song had done so well, it was brought out every year. And of course, he enjoyed the wealth that White Christmas gave him. But he wasn't truly a fan of the song, or indeed Christmas itself. Now, of course, I was a bit shocked by this particular story, only because you would have thought somebody who recorded such a big hit would like it. As we saw recently, the diva Mariah Carey recently got nominated one of the all-time favourite Christmas songs. I love Mariah, don't you? Love a real diva. Those stories about her, are not true. I've met her on a number of occasions. Lovely lady, a lot of fun, but knows exactly how to play up to her image. But back to Bing. So what became of his thoughts on that? Well, that was backed up by none other than Dean Martin Jr. He told me also that Bing wasn't a fan of Christmas. And more importantly, so did Mickey Rooney. So why on earth would a star of that stature really want to record that song? Well, apparently, when he got presented with it, he thought it was a nice little ditty that would fit into the storyline of that movie, Holiday Inn. But then, as it took off, he thought, oh no, people are only going to know me for this. According to Bing, while he made an effort at Christmas, of course, he had a family and quite a few children, he did make an effort, but he wanted to be known for other bigger songs. And get this, according to David, well, Bing was a little bit jealous, shall we say, of Frank Sinatra because he crossed quite a few genres, including, of course, becoming a Las Vegas sensation. Of course, it doesn't necessarily matter who you are and how much of the wealth that song particularly gives you, but of course, if you want to be known for something else, that song, apparently, according to David Bowie, was to become an albatross around Bing's neck. Of course, it's one we all thoroughly enjoy and we sort of associate with the real start of Christmas, almost like all those wonderful hymns. But for Bing, apparently, it was the start of the dreaded season. Hope you enjoyed that little festive fun treat of behind the scenes of some of the stars that, as I say, I've been lucky enough to spend time with in this wonderful career. Neil Sean in the heart of London.